while running with the weights during the game show. I'm talking about the NXT we know today that came in 2012. That's that's what 8 years, and I haven't even been watching this for 8 years. I've been watching it since 2015 at at the latest, probably 2014. Whenever Bailey and Sasha had they takeover Brooklyn match, and Finn Balor won his NXT title at Beast of the East when he beat Kevin Owens. That's when I start paying attention to NXT. Didn't really start really watching it until 2015, and I stopped watching it because I got rid of my network subscription because I got tired of WWE. I just said I'll just watch Raw and be bored. At least I'll be bored for free. I'm not paying $9.99 to be bored because I'm still paying money at the end of the day for a company that's not gonna give their very best to entertain me. So I just watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, and I subscribe here and there like WrestleMania or SummerSlam or a big event. I go back and for 1 month I pay that $9.99, watch the big pay per view, and unsubscribe. And I wouldn't watch NXT at all during that time for some reason. I don't know why. It just I wasn't really captivated by that NXT roster in 2016, 2017. But since they've been free on USA Network, like it's been awesome. Like it reminds me of what I fell in love with about pro wrestling in the first place. Like honestly. But say for instance, if I wasn't a fan of NXT and they wasn't free on the USA Network, or even if they are, I just been conditioned to watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, and probably a takeover show because it's a big show. And I already got the network because I'm a diehard WWE fan. But you tell me about Adam Cole, and I go watch an Adam Cole match. It's easier to get into Adam Cole, just one wrestler, than it is to get into a whole show of wrestlers. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel, in my opinion. So, yeah, I could be a casual fan and still know who Adam Cole is, or I could just be, or I might have not heard of Adam Cole. I might just see 5,000 people losing their mind because this dude finally got called up to the main roster, and I just throw my 2 cents in, I cheer or I boo or whatever, I add to the pot, like. But regardless, he's over. Like them type of dudes, them top dudes in NXT, they gonna be over. Especially now. Like I guarantee you, anybody that was in that Survivor Series match that get called up, especially Keith Lee, they're gonna be over till they not. Until they Nakamura. Nakamura literally got the biggest pop within the last, I don't know. You can compare that with Edge pop he got at the Royal Rumble. And I feel like Nakamura pop might be a little, if not a lot more bigger, because they pop throughout from the minute that black dude with the violin hit the stage and they seen the dude with the violin. This how I know like NXT could beat Raw in the ratings one day, because these people at SmackDown Live, a show that was mainly good that year, mainly good. I think that's before Jinder Mahal won the WWE title, so it was coming up off, the Bray Wyatt debacle with Randy Orton in the House of Horror match and all that. So it was still hope for SmackDown Live. People had high. I know I had really high hopes in 2017, especially when I seen uh, Nakamura and Ty Dillinger debut. I said, yeah, this is gonna be better than 2016. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. All it took was one modern day Maharaja to kill my dreams of a perfect wrestling show. But anyways, yeah, when they popped for the violin dude that they only showed one time. He only appeared in WWE television on NXT one time to play him out to the ring when he beat Samoa Joe for the NXT title for the first time. That's the only time I remember that dude coming out. And right when they seen this dude on that entrance, before he even played a violin note, they exploded like Triple H came back from the injury in 2002 at Madison Square Garden. Like it, remember Jay that day? I'll never forget JR. This is the longest sustained roar I've ever heard in my life, is what he said when Triple H came out. And I remember I was watching that episode of Monday Night Raw where Triple H came back, and I hated Triple H. But when I seen the people pop, I instantly just yelled to the top of my lungs because I knew right then and there, okay, this dude is about to be a babyface. He's about to be a good guy. He's about to have one more good guy on WWF television, and that's when I was all about good guys back then. Like I hated all heels. Like if you did any, you could have been Great Khali. If you was a babyface, if Khali was around in the Attitude Era, and this is me, 2002. I was born in '92, so I was only 10 years old. Forgive me. If he was to fight Triple H, the Stephanie McMahon Helmsley regime Triple H from the third reincarnation of DX. If he would have fought him for the WWE title, I would have been cheering for Great Khali just because I hated heels. Like to this day, like I wouldn't say I hate heels. Like I like certain heels, but like I'm more of a babyface type of person still to this day because I like withdraw money now. That's my reason for liking baby faces. Back then, it was just cool to cheer for the baby faces because when when you're a kid, like you're pure. Everything you do is pure. Like you're not. I wasn't an evil kid. Like you had to be an evil ass kid if you liked if you grew up in the '80s and you liked Macho King over Ultimate Warrior or Roddy Piper over Hulk Hogan. Like you had to have some real problems if you were cheering for especially during the '80s, during the I almost said eat your prayers. Forgive me, y'all. Say your prayers and eat your vitamin days when everything was just so pure in wrestling and it was just so cartoony. Like it was more cartoony than 1995, if you ask me. Literally, because they actually had a cartoon in the 1980s that was more over than Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are today put together. Them two, but like the Shield could come back, Moxley could come back, and they still probably wouldn't be more over than that Hulk Hogan commercial in the '80s. Like Cyndi Lauper was more over than any of these pro wrestlers today on any television program. NWA Power, AEW, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, Ring of Honor, Impact, even the PWGs of the world, PG Pro Gorilla Wrestling, PGW, right, or PW, whatever the fucking promotion is that Excalibur started. Like you feel me, like literally, like in the '80s they knew how to book wrestling. They knew how to book it. Like everything just made sense. The Mega Power storyline, it made sense at the end of the day. This dude was jealous of this big buff dude who he knew was trying to hog his spotlight. He knew it, but when he messed with Miss Elizabeth, oh, it was on and popping. The Mega Powers was the most over tag team that wasn't an official tag team in the history. Macho Man and Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan. It was like fucking goddamn if Tom Brady was to be on the same team as Patrick Mahomes or somebody or Peyton Manning. Say for instance, if Tom Brady backed up Peyton Manning for 8 games, and then the last 8 game it was the reverse, and then in the Super Bowl, whoever threw for the most touchdowns started the Super Bowl the first half, and then whoever whichever one didn't start came out and finished the Super Bowl off. Like Mega Powers, they was over. But that storyline told like not only did it last for a long time, it was a slow storyline that played out within I think like a year or maybe even 2 years. Honestly, maybe you might as well say more than 20 years because it lasted throughout WCW into the day that Macho Man died, because it was a real life beef it was a beef that started off as a Vince McMahon creation that turned real life, like, and it kind of died off when Macho Man made that album and dissed Hulk Hogan in a rap album. Like that's when it became like 2020 Monday Night Raw Bruce Pritchard Friday Night SmackDown like territory. But then again, that wasn't a wrestling. It wasn't. It was real life. It was Macho Man actually not liking Hulk Hogan and deciding I'm gonna make a wrestling version of Ether or a wrestling version of Takeover. So but I say that all this to say, man, honestly, we need to get wrestling at least back to the ruthless aggression era, 2002 to 2007. Like for we could build one superstar that could basically, because when you build one superstar, other people around gonna get over that one superstar. Think about it. Brock Lesnar got John Cena and all the ruthless aggression people over. Not to say there wasn't people already over besides Brock Lesnar. Like you still had Kurt Angle, who was an Attitude Era legend. Like people knew who he was. And he was babyface. So you had The Rock. The Rock actually put, The Rock was still around, putting people over Goldberg, and he put Brock Lesnar over, which made Brock Lesnar the big star he became in 2002. But after The Rock retired and Goldberg was on Monday Night Raw, and Monday Night Raw was terrible with the Triple H holding up the world title for a million years, burying Scott Steiner and Booker T and Goldberg and all these different people that people felt that he should have been putting over. On SmackDown, what did we have? We had Brock Lesnar. We had a, a, a army of legends like The Undertaker, Big Show, Hardcore Holly, Edge, Kurt Angle, people who've been in the business longer than him that was around during the Attitude Era. Like Kurt Angle was already a 2-3 time WWE champion. The Undertaker was already one of the greatest characters, if not the greatest character considered during that time in WWE history. Like he had legends to work around that he made into, like, not, he didn't make the Undertaker into no superstar, but he made other people like John Cena into a superstar. You know, like other people like who else? Shelton Benjamin became a star around in world's greatest tag team. Charlie Haas became a star. They became a good tag team. Uh, you had Rey Mysterio, you know, who became a big star by having programs with people like Big Show and Brock Lesnar, and actually putting on decent matches with them, good matches where you actually thought Rey Mysterio might pull this off. So he became a huge star. And I know, like, you'll say, well, he was already over from WCW days because he was one of the people who was a focal point of the cruiserweight division during the WCW days. But he was not nowhere near as over as he was on that SmackDown roster in WCW. Then on Raw, you gotta give Triple H credit. Yeah, he held the title forever in the Reign of Terror, but he was building Randy Orton and Batista while he was doing it. While he was doing it, he had Randy and Batista in Evolution had their match. His pretty much like his version of Four Horsemen. His version of the Authority, that 2003 version of Seth Rollins and the Authority. Building up new stars, and guess what? He ended up putting Batista over at the end of his Reign of Terror. He didn't win the World Heavyweight title for years after that. It was Batista and John Cena's WWE for the next decade plus, and Randy Orton too, and Edge, and all these great stars who was built around one star on each brand. SmackDown, Brock Lesnar, whoever was on that brand that was putting up good matches with Brock or feuding with Brock, they became a star, not an Attitude Era type star like a Mick Foley or a Triple H or a Rock who would feud with Stone Cold, but people still gave a fuck. Like, just listen to the crowd reaction. That's all you listen. Look at the house show numbers. Look at the crowd. Like, look at merchandise sale. Look at just, like, if you wasn't alive in that era, just go do some research on these things. House show numbers, crowd reactions. Watch a whole episode of SmackDown in 2002, and watch an episode of Friday Night SmackDown in 2020. And in fact, whatever SmackDown is coming up on Friday, go to on this day in wrestling, and they'll show you what SmackDown episode or whatever was on that day or that week or whatever. Just compare the crowd reaction. Like, just compare the Royal Rumbles, the pay per views. Just watch 2 hours of SmackDown in 2002, 2003, 2004, all the way up to like 2006, 2007, and watch an episode of 2020 Friday Night SmackDown with Bruce Pritchard writing the show. It's night and day. Like, we didn't need Hulk Hogan to come back. Like, honestly, when Hulk Hogan left after the Mr. America character, did anybody really care? I'm gonna keep. Did that affect the ratings? Like, was Vince breaking his neck to bring back Attitude Era stars to come back to SmackDown or Raw and take the title from Brock Lesnar and defend it once every 3 months? No, because he could have did that with The Rock easily. If Brock Lesnar wasn't doing his job as WWE champion or John Cena or Kurt Angle, he could have easily like, look, Rock, I know you got the Scorpion King too. I know you got Walking Tall coming up. I know you got the Rundown. I know you got the Tooth Fairy that you got to shoot. But look, whenever you done shooting, that's when you come and defend the title. But I need you to take this title off of Brock. You know, it's going to be great. It's going to be good shit. Because you're going to come back and you're going to lose at WrestleMania to my next pet project that I got. That I'm going to eventually get done playing with. You know, like, it's so crazy because people like Cedric Alexander could be a great mid-card. At least great mid-card. Like, he could win. If Kofi can win a WWE championship, I don't care. Somebody like Cedric and somebody like Mustafa Ali could win a WWE championship. They don't have to have a long reign like Kofi. They can have a short reign, but just the build up to them winning could be an underdog type Daniel Bryan type Kofi Kingston story. Chris Benoit. Oh, I shouldn't mention that man. Oh, Jesus. The man that shall not be mentioned. David Benoit, his son. His son's story, you know, line in. You know, even if they champion for a week or a month at most or whatever, like, I'll be happy with it because it shows that, you know, they care, they listen to us, you know. And if after a month, if they not getting over the way that they want a Mustafa Ali to get over, and honestly, I don't think Mustafa Ali would have got over the way Kofi got over if he never had got hurt. Like, I don't think he would have got over. And if he did, it would have took him a lot longer. They probably would have finally came across like a couple weeks before WrestleMania. That's when he would have got the Kofi Mania treatment. But people knew Kofi deserved that. Like, we've been watching Kofi for 11 years. Like, not only that, the New Day was over. But just like everything about Kofi was just like perfect for that. I feel like Kofi was perfect. And just this is just my opinion. I feel like Kofi was perfect for that title, man. You know, like, it's like Daniel Bryan. Nobody else could have did that besides like a CM Punk or something, like, or David Benoit. Like, them guys, they were perfect for them spots because they was guys that was held down for more than 10 years. Like, Mustafa wasn't held down for more than 10 years. I don't think he been wrestling for more than 10 years. If he have, correct me. I'm sorry, but definitely we seen 18 years of Benoit from ECW, even before ECW, doing the Heart Stampede Wrestling when he debuted there with the mask on. Like, people who was in that crowd, I'm pretty sure that was around in '89 when David Benoit first came out, you know, wrestling for Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling. The same with Daniel Bryan. He was Brian Danielson in Ring of Honor. Like, he's considered one of the founding fathers of Ring of Honor. He was around there wrestling CM Punk when CM Punk was wrestling in Ring of Honor, and AJ Styles was wrestling in Ring of Honor, and Even Cassius Ono, Chris, in his Chris Hero days, like and who else? The Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels. He's another one they considered a forefather of Ring of Honor. But they had some legendary matches. So yeah, I mean, people actually watched Ring of Honor at one time. Actually, was fans of Ring of Honor, seeing him grow. Even if you wasn't, you seen him from when he first debuted with Nexus and he got fired, all the way up to now. As this guy that's never was the WWE world champion type of dude look wise, but always we knew just off watching him wrestle and cut promos, he definitely was the championship type of person, and his promos wasn't nearly as good as his wrestling skills, but his wrestling skills was that damn good that it's like, damn, it can make his promo skills look kind of mediocre, but his promo skills are actually pretty good, especially as the new Daniel Bryan, him cutting all them slow, methodical, starting off slow, methodical. Then he yell at the fans for a bunch of just stuff that you would punch anybody else in the face for if they yelled at you. Like, dude yelled at me for eating meat. Like, I'm punching you in the face, dude. Like, come on, bro. It's not that serious. But you love it because it's pro wrestling. It's entertainment. It's goofy, but there are really people out there that are that like gung ho about veganism and saving the environment that would literally change a championship belt because they feel like it's endangering the environment and change it to a hemp title. Like, there's guys out there that really go that crazy. So it's reality. It's can't say like this dude character doesn't make sense. You can never say one thing about a great pro wrestler, and it's probably not my top requirement to be a great pro wrestler. You can never say his character doesn't make sense. Like, that's one thing I look for in a pro wrestler. Like, you can look at Seth Rollins babyface run with the Universal title and be like, bro, this doesn't make sense. This dude stomped Brock Lesnar head in 4 times, took the Universal title from after low blowing him, but this dude stumped the Fiend head in nine times, hit him with a sledgehammer with a steel chair covering his face, and this dude gets disqualified in a Hell in a Cell match. Not only that, the Fiend pops up, gives him the mandible claw after all that abuse he took. So how does that make sense? That means the Fiend is tougher than Brock Lesnar. And which brings me to my point about what happened on Super Showdown, Sweet Saudi Money, Boogaloo Shrimp, or whatever the hell Solid Monster calls it. No, he said stand alive. This one is stand alive. The next one, guys, I want you to hashtag this. I'm going to hashtag it first. It's Sweet Saudi Money. Damn, I think he said, I forgot what he said. Solid Monster just said it on one of his videos he posted. Sweet Saudi Money. Sweet Saudi 6. Damn, I forgot. It was so funny. It was like a rap bar. It was so funny. I was fucking dying laughing, but I forgot. Basically, okay, get back to the point. So, Brock Lesnar, all that abuse, he took 4 curb stomps. I think 3. I think 3. I think I'm overselling it by saying that Seth Rollins gave him 4. It might have been 3. It might have been 4. But regardless, it wasn't 9 curb stomps, and then it wasn't a sledgehammer with a steel chair over your face. So it wasn't nearly the beating that Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, gave the Fiend Bray Wyatt at that Hell in a Cell match. That basically means he's tougher than Brock Lesnar, right? He could take more damage. He's just as big as Brock Lesnar. He weighs almost the same, so he can dish out just about the same amount of punishment, right? So we all seen Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar within like 2 minutes with a spear, another spear, and a jackhammer and pin him. But didn't Brock Lesnar beat Goldberg at WrestleMania for the Universal title after taking a million spears and a million jackhammers and then just suplexing him 5 times and giving him one F5? He gave Goldberg one F5 and beat him for the Universal title at WrestleMania a few years back. But this dude, Bill Goldberg, at the age of 50 something years old, spears Bray Wyatt 2 or 3 times and gives him what people say was a horrible jackhammer. I didn't see the jackhammer. I'm gonna go back and watch it, the jackhammer, to see how terrible that jackhammer was. But I'm pretty sure if everybody that's seen that show says that jackhammer was horrible, like people say it was a suplex, then yeah, I'm gonna believe the people. I never heard one person say, "Oh no, they're lying. That jackhammer was awesome." Not one person said that. So this dude beat the guy that took 9 curb stones and a freaking sledgehammer with a steel chair, a concerto version, a concerto basically with a sledgehammer. Basically, that's what he took, a concerto only with a sledgehammer. And not the Triple H way of hitting you with the sledgehammer. He actually swung it like he was chopping trees, like he was chopping wood, like that. It looked vicious. And he kicked in. They literally called the bell, ended the match. We thinking like, oh man, I'm thinking like, man, this dude, he's pretty much done for. Like he's buried. He pops up and gives Seth Rollins the mandible claw. After all that, so how does that make sense? Like, what's going? Like, how does that? What are you saying? Like, WWE, what are you saying? Brock Lesnar is tougher, not tougher than the Fiend, but Goldberg is tougher than the Fiend. Goldberg could beat the Fiend, but Brock Lesnar could beat Goldberg. And wait, and then hold on, this is the crazy part because Bray Wyatt could beat Seth Rollins because he beat him for the Universal title, but he also Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar. So it's like it's so confusing. Like that's the type of shit that y'all lazy ass writing. Like when y'all don't think of the outcome. Like when y'all don't sit down and think the way I think, you will always come out with illogical booking. Like honestly, like it was no way that the Fiend should have lost to Bill Goldberg. Why? To get the title on Roman? I would much rather Roman beat the Fiend at WrestleMania. I don't care how big of a match it's going to be. Like nobody's going to come and watch that. That that walked away from wrestling. If you walked away from wrestling and you see, oh, Bill Goldberg is a champion, he's about to fight Roman Reigns, and you walked away because Roman Reigns was always in the main event, why would I come back? Why would I come back? And if even if you didn't, if you walked away for because John Cena was always winning, pretty sure you came back to see Roman Reigns and said, "Oh yeah, no, this guy is crap like this, and guys like this, and people like this. It's the reason why I walked away in the first place. Like Vince McMahon shoving people that he want us to cheer for down our throats. So then again, the people that walked away because of John Cena walked away from watching WWE probably came back and seen that a John Cena clone, a Samoan John Cena, was in the main event of every WrestleMania, and they said no, thank you. So, and then what about the people that walked away when Nitro went out of business? That never came back. That said no, I'm not messing with WWE. Nitro was my thing. I'm sorry, I can't do it. They see Goldberg in the main event, and say for instance they do watch it, it's only going to be a certain amount of them fans that seen him in the main event in 2004 and seen that horrible ass debacle with Brock Lesnar and said, I'm never watching this again. And then not only the people that seen him in the main event with Brock Lesnar again a few years ago, that's like, okay, what is this, like every 3-4 years Goldberg and Brock Lesnar main events WrestleManias either against each other or other people? Like literally the last 4 WrestleMania main events, not counting Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey, because that don't count. But the last 4 main events either involve Goldberg, Roman Reigns, or Brock Lesnar. And we can go back to WrestleMania 31, like 31 to now. Which WrestleMania is this? Like this 36, 30. Come on, 5 coronations for Roman Reigns alone. Not to mention one of them being an ass kicking from Brock Lesnar, which is not a coronation. So you could say three, 2.5 at most. I mean, he beat Triple H, he beat Undertaker, and he beat that was pretty much it, right? That's all he beat in the main event for the was Triple H and Undertaker. But he lost to Brock Lesnar. He lost to Seth Rollins, and he missed. I think he missed one WrestleMania. I know he recently just beat Drew McIntyre, but that don't count because that wasn't the main event. So yeah, I mean, and now he's about to beat Goldberg. So that's 3, 4, that's 5 WrestleManias of him main eventing in a row. You might as well say in a row. Now think about it. 'Cause the only reason he didn't main event last WrestleMania is because he caught leukemia, and they was like, "No, we can't have him do that because then they'll boo him, and we don't need him being booed." They finally cheering him, like they finally got it right with Roman, and now they just they just they time. I guess time heals all wounds, right? I guess it's been enough time. It's like, okay, we gave you a year without Roman in the main event. Um, we about to give you this Roman main event with a guy who beat the guy that we originally had planned for Roman to beat, but people said that they would have turned on him. So, you know what? We had Goldberg beat him so y'all could turn on Goldberg and y'all can eventually start liking Roman because the guy that beat y'all favorite wrestler is going against Roman. And that's going to give Roman the cheers that we always wanted him to get. He's going to get the Rock type electricity when it's not going to happen. If anything, they're going to boo both of them out the building. Even if they do cheer for Roman, it's not going to be the type of pop that they want. Like it's going to be like a mediocre type pop when he wins, and then they're going to boo him the next night. Next night it's going to be 50-50, half boos, half cheers, and then eventually once y'all shove the Roman agenda down our throats, really, to where Roman doesn't lose this title for a year or a year and a half, or he breaks some fucking y'all get balls and say we want him to break Bruno Sammartino record as the longest reigning WWE champion of all time, or break CM Punk's record or Brock Lesnar record, or whoever holds the record within in the last 30 years of longest reigning champion. They're going to boo him out the building. It's going to go from 50-50. It's going to go from the John Cena 50-50, 60-40, 65-35 that John Cena used to get to Roman getting just totally booed out the building. And the people that do like Roman, they're just going to be sitting there like, ah, damn, I can't. Not even about to try to cheer over these loud ass boos. Like, I'm sorry, Roman. Like, I, I hold my shirt up for you, let the cameras know you got some fans, but I hold my sign up. Maybe all the Roman fans, maybe the 95% that's booing Roman Reigns out the building could pay for the 5% to get some cardboard so they can write "I love Roman" sign and they can hold it up to the camera. You know, Kevin Dunn and Roman Reigns point to every Roman sign in that building. If if he was getting 95% boos, which is he will get it when they decide, oh, now that he's beaten the legendary Goldberg, now that he's the dominant spirit of WWE, let's have him go on a Goldberg type reign only with the Universal Championship. It's good shh. As Vince McMahon would say, it's good shit. It's good shit. You know, and it's crazy, bro. It's just so crazy how WWE booking is. But I just want you guys to know full hour review of Monday Night Raw. If it sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks. If it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good. I'm not going to listen to no other podcast and make my decision off what Solid Monster or JD said or Joe Cronin, or if they say it suck and I think it's good, I'm going to tell you it's good just off what I think. Sometimes we all got different opinion of certain shows, but overall we can agree the overall today's product as of March 2nd, 2020, it's terrible, especially SmackDown Live. SmackDown Live is the new Monday Night Raw mixed with some TNA from 2010. Like, honestly, like, I would much rather watch Impact on whenever they come on, Tuesdays, Thursdays, whenever. I'll turn to the Access TV and watch Impact before I watch SmackDown Live. Like, honestly, and I don't know. Last couple Impact shows I've seen, they were okay. Like, pretty decent. Like, honestly, I don't know. I want to talk about something for my last 20 minutes, mm, but I don't know what to talk about as far as like I don't want to keep talking about the negative of the main roster because then it'll just drag me down and I'll go into Monday Night Raw mad and they probably put on a good show, but because I was pissed off because I made myself pissed off of talking about how they screwed this new generation over. I go in there so screwed and then a 10 star show which is Monday Night Raw would never have again. It turned into a 5 star show so fast, I swear. So I want to talk about something positive, but first I'm just say like I'm just say this. Look, when Goldberg and Undertaker and Brock Lesnar and all the part-time old timers they have come in can't do this anymore. Physically can't do this, even if it's like Undertaker's in a wheelchair and Goldberg is too busy working on a Camaro or whatever car. Brock Lesnar just made enough money to where he can go hunt on this ranch all day. He doesn't need wrestling anymore. He already gave his life. He gave us decades, you know, his body to this business. He's done. And they're all retired. They're going to be so assed out because now they have no leg. Who are they going to call? Hulk Hogan? Hulk Hogan's going to come back to wrestle. Stone Cold ain't coming back to wrestle. The Rock is retired. He quietly retired, by the way. Mick Foley ain't coming back. Who they going to call to come in? Who they going to push? Randy Orton? I mean, Randy Orton, he's a star, but he's not on the level that a Goldberg is. Like, let's be honest. Like, John Cena, he's going to be doing movies. I guarantee you, his first box office top movie where he's nominated for Emmys and not Oscars, you're going to see it's going to be harder and harder to get John Cena, just like it was with The Rock, to come back in. That's the only hope once Lesnar and Undertaker and all these old timers officially hang it up for good. It's going to be John Cena, and ain't no telling how big of a movie star he'll be by that time. And I just hope and pray these old timers hang it up soon. Like soon, I mean like within the next 5 years. Like, please, just if you really love this business as an old timer, stop stealing the spot from people like Aleister Black, who could have went one-on-one with AJ Styles at WrestleMania, but instead we're getting the Undertaker versus AJ Styles. And any other time I would not complain about that, but Jesus Christ, Undertaker's in his 50s. His last couple matches have been terrible. He's left a bad taste in our mouth. I don't even think AJ Styles can save Undertaker from fucking breaking his hip in the ring or botching a move that could possibly put this old man in a wheelchair. And I respect Undertaker too much to disrespect him and call him garbage or he's a trash wrestler, because he's not. He's just old. Father Time has caught up with this man. All his years in the business, he's been wrestling in his business since the late 80s. He's been on top of the WWE since 1990. He came in at Survivor Series. Like, this is what, 1990, 2000, 2010, 30 years. Survivor Series. End your career. Just call it quits. Like, please. Because if I see a terrible match at WrestleMania with you and the Undertaker, you and AJ Styles, I'm gonna freaking, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm start pulling my hair out. Like, I can't have you burying people who still got a little bit time left. AJ's in his 40s. Like, he has a little bit of time to really, you know, put people over. And that's what you should do at WrestleMania for AJ. Undertaker, honestly, that's how I feel. I just feel like Undertaker should lose to AJ Styles. And his last match should be at Survivor Series, his 30th anniversary from the day he debuted. And had that Survivor Series centered around the Undertaker. Call it Survivor Series, the Undertaker's farewell, something cool. Make make it fun. Make it about the Undertaker. The way Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, Kobe Bean Bryant, last season in the NBA, the whole season was basically based around Kobe Bryant. Just like Derek Jeter's last year in Major League Baseball was based around Derek Jeter's career and his retirement. That's how it should be for the Undertaker. This should bigger than what they did for Ric Flair, because they didn't do a year for Ric Flair. They did about a month for Ric Flair. But Ric Flair was synonymous with his name rung in almost every promotion that was ever big, from NWA to WWE. So Vince wasn't going to throw him a whole year round to where. Plus, he probably didn't know he was going to retire to like a couple months before his match with Shawn. But they gave him a big send away, bigger than they gave Shawn Michaels, which I thought was kind of messed up, because Shawn spent his whole career in the WWF and WWE, and Ric Flair was a WCW guy. So, I mean, I feel like they both are equally when it comes to their legendary status, because when you think of the greatest in-ring performers, you think of two names, Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. So, but Undertaker definitely deserves a whole Survivor Series. If he's retiring, he deserves a whole Survivor Series. Retire at Survivor Series if you don't retire at WrestleMania. If you retire at WrestleMania, that's cool. We still can give a Survivor Series after Undertaker. He come out, he give a promo at the end of Survivor Series, at the end of the SmackDown versus Raw versus NXT match, or whatever 5-on-5 traditional match they have. In Survivor Series, he comes out. The guys surround the ring. Everybody in the locker room. Kane comes out. Loud. He gave his last salute. He give his promo to the guys. He say something like, "Every superstar in the back must become a legend in order to walk in immortality with the likes of the dead man, with the likes of Ric Flair." Then he start naming, people that he beat, that he look up to, and he said, "I look up to all these guys, Hulk Hogan, all of them, and I got to beat them. I got to bury their souls, and they was never the same after they fought the dead man." And that's the difference between me and every other legend, is when the legend beat somebody, that legend came back the same. But every time I beat someone, I took a piece of soul with me. Even when I lost, I took a piece of their soul with me. Now, I'm going to give their souls to you. I'm going to give my power to each and every one of you. Make me proud, because you don't want me to come back. Because if I come back and you're not doing the Lord of Darkness power to its full abilities, you will rest in peace. Doom. Kane does the pyro shit, whatever. Big Show walk up, shake the Undertaker's hand. Everybody walk up, they start giving the Undertaker dapping. He take off his fedora, he leave it in there. Yeah, a motorcycle come out, he hop on a motorcycle, he ride around. Stone Cold and all the legends he once mentioned that had great rivalries with him, they come out, they toast a beer with him or whatever, and I just want to hear it one more time. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. And he ride off to the middle of the ramp, throw up his fist, look before he looked back, throw up his fist, and boom. They get a close up on the fedora and the trench coat, and the smoke everywhere. And you know when they lead out to the WWE sign or whatever after the pay per view is over, they show a picture of the dead man, the phenom, with his eyes rolled up to the back of his head. Maybe 3 or 4 pictures to represent every era. The first era, Undertaker, the purple gloves and the purple boots, Undertaker, to the ministry, to even when he walked down to the ring with the drawings and when he fought Kane at the first WrestleMania, all the way to Biker Undertaker, all the way to the dead man that we know and love of the early 2000 to 2000 WrestleMania 25. The dude with the hair that wasn't as long, but he was still putting on great matches, you know. And then just thank you, Undertaker. Just send your appreciation to this man. Let him know you're thankful for everything he's done, because he's bent over backwards for you, Vince. Like literally, he ended his streak without a fight. He said, I want to end your streak. He said, okay. He's always been a company guy. When everybody left, he stayed. When everybody was calling you, said your ideas was antiquated, he never spoke out against you. Never once. And even long into his retirement, he's not going to speak out on you. You can book 1,000,000 Dean Ambrose segments of him getting shots in his ass and Drake Maverick pissing on Bobby Roode's robe after Undertaker's gone from wrestling. He will never criticize you. He'll be there, be like, "What do you think of this segment?" He'll be like, "Man, Vince is a crazy man, but that's Vince. Like that's Vince. Like, you like the segment? I laugh, but it ain't something I would do. But that's Vince. Like that's the type of dude he is. Cause he's loyal to you. Because he appreciate what you did for him. I would be loyal to you too if you didn't make me shower, man. And made me sing in the shower with a shower cap. You gave me the coolest gimmick in the history of wrestling. Like you listen to his interview with Stone Cold at the Stone Cold podcast. You sitting there thinking he about to be singing in the shower. He comes out with the most longest gimmick of all time. This gimmick has been around longer than any other gimmick in wrestling. He reinvented himself one time with the biker gimmick for how long? 2-3 years at most. He came back 2000 when he came back, and by 2004 he was back to the fedora. He was back to the drums. He was back to Paul Bearer with the urn. He was back to taking souls and digging holes. That's literally 26 years of one gimmick. The Phenom, the Dead Man, that they kept over for 26 years. Over to this day, you hear the dong, people will go crazy. People will literally show up to an Undertaker match just to see the entrance. Like, come on now, like I will be loyal to you too, Vince. I'm not gonna lie. Not because you gave me the gimmick right from the gate. It's because you didn't kill my career. Because you could my career was Shower Man. So yeah, I just want to say that, man. Like, this is the Benji B show. This is Wrestling Rants, and I know I went all over the place. But if you could follow me, understand. Like I said, disagree, agree, whatever. Like, share, comment. I'll be back with your raw review. Your honest raw review. Now, 100% honesty raw review. And if I gotta pay for a lie detector test to see if I'm lying, I'll do the review under a polygraph. Like honestly, like this is 100% honest. And yeah, share this podcast, this channel on whatever platform because I want to get my followers up. If you like my commentary, it's gonna be a lot better after Monday Night Raw. Because right now I'm so tired. Like I am so tired that I'm. And this is me freestyling. This ain't me writing down notes of what I want to talk about. Nothing. This is me just freestyling, talking straight from the heart of what I feel. Everything that I spit out, this tired mind of mine, into this phone, this Galaxy S9. It's came straight from the head. Like this is how I feel. 100%. Disagree with it, agree with it, whatever. It's all cool. At the end of the day, I love pro wrestling just like you guys love pro wrestling, and I want the main roster to get better. That's all I want. I want the main roster to get better because Mondays could be stressful. You know, start of a week, you gotta go to a crappy job and work. A crappy job you don't want to work at. You just want to be at home, you know, thinking of ways you can, you know, thinking of ways you can make money and still be at home. Or, you know, you know, you just want to enjoy your life. And my job doesn't make me happy. My job is crappy. My job actually makes me depressed. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta keep it real with y'all. So I come home, I turn on Monday Night Raw. And if this was 1999, I would escape all them problems. I'd go to work tomorrow happy as hell. But I can't go to work happy as hell because at the end of the day, hey, if Raw sucks, now I'm thinking about, oh my God, why does Vince hate me? I'm thinking of ways I can articulate it into a podcast, but I'm so tired of my job that I just said, you know what, forget it. I have such a crappy day at work. I said, forget it. If I don't start this podcast now, I'm never going to start it. So I'm going to put it out for y'all, and I promise y'all it's going to be a lot better. The name of the segment is called Wrestling Rants. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I am Benji B. Also hit a thumbs down if you don't like it. I don't mind. I am Benji B, aka BJ, signing out. See you guys in about 4 hours. Raw starts in 1 hour, so I'll see you guys in 4 hours. Maybe 5, because it's going to take me a while to do this, you know, the podcast and edit it and make sure it's perfect for y'all. So y'all can see that I am the future of the YWC. And not only the YWC, pro wrestling, period. Like, get on board now. So that way you can say, I was with Benji B when he had 0 subscribers. And he posted his link to Twitter. And he said, follow me. And I said, what the hell? Let me follow him. And then I followed him. And then, boom. As you know, I loved it. I shared it. And as you know, he was at 1 million subscribers before I looked up. And it was hard for him to really even respond to my comments. He went from responding to my comments to only responding to my comments whenever he noticed me. But whenever he noticed me, he's such a cool guy. He still, remember, I was his first subscriber. And he, you know, he put on, you know. So just, yeah, man, like, if you mess with me, subscribe. And if you need me to subscribe to anything, if you're an upcoming YouTube wrestling community person with content that do wrestling reviews or sports reviews or whatever, I got you. I'll subscribe and I'll listen. And I'll critique and give you my honest opinion because I want you to get better. Just like I want you to critique me so I can get better. And I'm taking all criticisms into consideration. That's how you get better. You listen to advice. So yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here, guys. I love you. Whoever subscribes to the channel. Monday Night Review coming. 5 hours. Be there. Be square. Goodbye.